Here we go.
Requisitos de instalación, productos Ritsoft, firma digital. BBDD Invoices. Invoices es la herramienta que se encarga del escaneo de las facturas y el tratamiento de datos antes de su transferencia a Copilot.
Now, what happened, you saw, is that she said something that's difficult for me to say, so I repeated it a few times. And what I have now is the choice of, do I want to go back and try to listen to the other words right after that, or do I want to just pick up where she is? So it's really up to you. What I do a lot of times is just let the tape roll on, especially since I'm in the car when I'm doing this. I don't want to constantly be fiddling with my radio. So here we go.
Invoices es la herramienta que se encarga del escaneo de las facturas y el tratamiento de datos antes de su transferencia a Copilot. Precisa, por tanto, un escáner y un servidor para la instalación del producto por parte de Ritsoft. La instalación de Invoices y el escáner solo en el caso de que haya sido facilitado por Ritsoft España. Es realizada por Ritsoft. Servidor base de datos gestor base de datos. Microsoft SQL Server.
Okay, here we have some English that I don't really care about listening to. So.
SQL Server 2005. Microsoft SQL Server 2010G. No están soportadas las versiones Express tanto de SQL Server como de Oracle.
No están soportadas las versiones de Express.
Archivos, instalación SQL.
Here's another great R coming up. Listen.
Digitalización certificada. La digitalización certificada está basada en la firma digital.
Part of why this is fun is just listening to the person's voice and listening to the way they say things. And seeing if you can say it. So it's a little bit of a challenge. I'm always working with my tongue and seeing if I can say this and thinking about whether there's probably some muscle movements that I'll learn over time. Here we go.
Requisitos digitalización certificada. La digitalización certificada está basada en la firma digital, desde el módulo scan de Invoices para la recuperación de imágenes. La instalación se realiza en un puesto por licencia. Se realiza la instalación de las siguientes herramientas. Firma digital, Ritsoft. Para su correcto funcionamiento, se ha de tener instalado, además, a la llegada de la persona de Ritsoft, que se encarga de la instalación.
When she says herramientas, I was noticing the word when I first started echoing, and I didn't know, because I couldn't understand enough of the recording, if it meant, I should remind you, this is a technical document discussing some software that I use at work. So I didn't know if herramienta meant a program or an environment, because sometimes we talk about computer environments where you have a whole ecosystem of programs working together. So I didn't know what herramienta meant. And now I know from the context, because I understand a lot more of the words, I know that it means a single program. And what I've noticed is that herramienta is difficult for me to say, so I've been practicing trying to say it, because I know that the words that are difficult for me to say will give me the clues to how I need to move my tongue and lips. And so I'm always looking for difficult words. So when I continue to echo French, even though I live in France and I'm fluent in French, I continue to echo the radio as I drive back and forth to work. And what I'm looking for when I echo French, this language in which I'm already fluent, is I'm looking for the difficult words or difficult combinations of words that can lead me to further improve my pronunciation, so that when I walk into the hardware store, people don't even realize that I'm not French. That's my goal, is to just, if I want to, speak perfect French and never have my accent or pronunciation get in the way of the conversation. So that's what I've been working on, is herramienta. But I don't have it. It's going to come. I'm sure it'll come in time.
Varias bases de datos.
2.1.
Certificado firma digital. Se precisa ante una firma digital proporcionada por cualquier entidad certificadora reconocida por la AEAT, FNMT, firma profesional. La instalación de la firma digital sobre las imágenes de facturas se realiza en la plataforma de invoices, en los puestos de escaneo. Para la instalación de la firma digital se precisan bases de datos que obligatoriamente han de ser SQL y con las características indicadas para invoices. Se precisa usuario y contraseña para el acceso a las bases de datos. El certificado de firma digital es monopuesto, por lo que si el puesto de escaneo está en distinta ubicación que el visor, no sé, donde se cierran los periodos contables, se precisa una firma digital, certificado para cada ubicación.
Okay.
El certificado.
So there are words in there that I'm curious to see in the text, because like there was se cierran. I have no idea what she's trying to say there. I'd like to see that word in the text. I'll show you, and you can judge whether or not I have learned some of the words at the end of the recording, because what I tend to do is when I echo, I don't, in theory, I want to see the text first, and I don't want to echo words whose meaning I don't know, because I would like to improve my comprehension, and I'm listening for the words that I know are in the text. So like when I echo German, German for me is so much more difficult than Spanish. When I echo German, what I want to do first is I look at the text. I make sure I know what's about to be said. And then when I listen for those words that I know are in the text. And I can never hear all of them, especially at the beginning. At the beginning, I can hear 30 or 40% of those words that I know are in the text. And then as I listen over and over and over again, I get to where I can hear more of the words that I know are in the text and that I know I should be able to hear. So, what was I talking about that? Can't remember. Oh yeah, I'm trying to tell you why I don't know the end of the recording as well as the beginning of the recording, because I don't listen all the way through. What usually happens is I get to 2 or 3 minutes in, I get into a place where I can't understand anything because I haven't listened to it too much, and so that I get lost. So I just go back to the beginning and start listening again at the beginning. And as I fill in my blanks at the beginning, because I can understand the recording, I can go farther and farther into the recording. With this Spanish text, I haven't been echoing in this. I haven't been doing things in the same order that I usually do with German. With German, as I say, look at the text first, listen to the recording. So I'll learn a couple of paragraphs, then I'll listen to the recording, and then I'll look at another couple of paragraphs on the paper, learn what's in that part of the recording, and then I'll listen to the recording and try to hear those words. With this Spanish, because Spanish is so much easier and because it's so similar to French, and because I know Spanish a little bit better, I just started working with the recording, and I still have not read this text one single time, even though I'm the one who gave it to my coworker. I didn't bother to try to read through it ahead of time. My goal is always, or my theory about language is, only do the work that you have to do. Have fun with it because when you learn all that grammar and that vocabulary, that's work, and it makes you feel like you're probably making progress. But then after you go to the country and live there for a year and find out that even if you know the grammar, you still use it incorrectly and still make mistakes, you start to wonder if all that work you did on the grammar, it wasn't a waste of time, but it actually wasn't the quickest path to fluency and the quickest path to having fun in the country. The quickest path to having fun in the country is the one that takes you to full comprehension the most quickly. I think that comprehension is the most important skill. So anyway, enough blabbing, right? Here's something in the end of the recording. I'll see if I can even understand what's going on here.
Se precisan dos usuarios para la instalación. Usuario con permiso de lectura y escritura sobre las carpetas donde se depositen las imágenes de las facturas firmadas y transferencias. Usuario con permisos de lectura sobre las carpetas donde se depositen las imágenes de las facturas firmadas y transferencias. Usuario con permisos de lectura sobre las carpetas donde se depositen las imágenes de las facturas firmadas.
So users who have permission to read and write to the folders where we're sending information. So I can understand this partly because I kind of know the context and I know what we're trying to do with this software. So this is a good recording for me because it's a lot of fun and I haven't had to look up too many things, too many words. Soon, I'll play you a recording of me looking up the words that I don't know so that I can understand everything. And then what I'll do is, as soon as I can understand 80% of the words here, as soon as I can play the recording and understand 80% of the words, I'll go on to another recording because there's no reason for me to try to get to 100% comprehension because I know that over time my ears will improve anyway. And right now, my ears are probably not ready and probably not capable of 100% comprehension. So what I do is, I've been working on this for a week. And once I know all the words, all the blanks are filled in, and I know what words are being said, and I can hear most of them, I'm going to be bored with this. So my other way of working and way of thinking about this is, as soon as you get bored with a recording, move on to another recording. And then keep this recording in your computer or in your telephone or USB key so that you can listen to it in about 2 months. And you'll be surprised how many words you understand that you couldn't understand today just because your ear has continued to improve as you echoed a second recording. So, anything else to say about this? Yeah, the main thing is you may also be confused because I'm talking about repeating and learning how to make the sounds, and I'm saying move on when you get to 80% comprehension, and that comprehension is your main goal. Why am I talking about echoing or shadowing if comprehension is my main goal? Because the shadowing is what helps me improve my comprehension quickly. Because when I shadow or when I echo, I'm paying very close attention to how the words sound and to what words I'm hearing because I'm having to repeat them back, right? So that helps improve my ear because I'm constantly listening and I'm totally concentrated on this. I'm really in quote unquote working pretty darn hard as far as there's a lot of mental effort, mental concentration going into listening to these sounds. So this is what for me, this is the quickest way to improve my comprehension is by echoing a recording. So it's true that I'm paying a lot of attention. If you wonder if I'm paying attention to the meaning or the sound and how can I pay attention to both, I don't know, but I can. And I know that you'll be able to too. And hopefully you'll have as much fun as I have fun with this. I really enjoy it. So let's listen to, before we go, let's listen to her say that R one more time.
Requisitos digitalización certificada.
Great.
La digitalización Requisitos digitalización certificada.
Digitalización
La
certificada.
digitalización.
It's pretty cool. All right, have a good day.